So welcome to the live Free to Be show. I'm super excited to be here with Jeff Koziatek. Did I get it right again? Yay!
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And he, so far in the second season of the, excuse me, of the Free to Be show, he's actually been my favorite guest. I'm sorry, Devin and Davina, but
What?
I really no. We just had such a great conversation. I'm not going to measure people, but I'm just saying
that's bad.
never do that. I
Don't
because
There's no competition.
even me with all my kids, right? I can't say, "Oh, you're my favorite kid," right? There's no such thing.
Well, you could, but that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, that'd be like a civil war. Don't do that. Yeah.
Right?
So, hey, Wanda. Anyway, all jokes aside, I want to introduce you to Jeff Koziatek because he has, a really unique take on life in general. And we decided we were going to tackle the humongous topic of using value to redeem and reclaim masculinity. I know, right? Because masculinity, I guess, in a way, these days, it's all been about women's empowerment, right? But what about men? What about our sons, right? And they have their struggles as well. So, we talked about that at length, and I'm sure you remember that wonderful conversation. Anyway,
yeah. just like yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was great.
It was great. I know. So
I can't wait to hear it.
You can't wait to hear it. I know. With no further ado, I just want to, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Jeff. He has, 20 years in some entertainment industry. I'm reading your bio now. And I'm like, what does he do again? He has founded, he does something really cool. He's founded a company called Core Authenticity. And the great thing that I like about his company is, a lot of times these days people they're starting their companies, but they also have a charitable portion. And so that's what he'll do. He works with companies, but he also gives back to the community wherever he goes. So, hey, Kara. So welcome, Jeff. Let's just chat it up.
How are you seeing people? Okay, if you're watching, I don't know that you're there, so I'm not ignoring you, but I really appreciate you tuning in. Hey, how do you see people?
Because I am the one running the show,
well, that's cheating.
That's cheating, basically. So the comments are coming up for me. They may, if you're in YouTube or if you're in what do you call it? In Facebook, those are the two places that you could possibly see comments.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I'll get that next time.
Yeah. I didn't cue you on that. But anyway.
It's all good.
It's all good. He will respond later. He's very attentive, I assure you.
Yeah. Just email jeff@coreauthenticity.com, or you can follow me right there.
Yes.
Core Authenticity, at Core Authenticity on Facebook or Instagram. So if you have any questions, I got you.
And he's very attentive, and he gives a great turnaround on LinkedIn as well. I had to clean that up. When you guys listen to the full episode, you'll understand that comment.
That's funny. Well, let's jump right in. What should we talk about today?
Yeah. So today, before we came on, we were talking about how a lot of people may be going through, some things emotionally. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't think we'd be doing still. It's like October and we're still like maybe in lockdown, maybe not, depending on where you are in the world. And it's just a lot to deal with. So as a man, right, I know you're supposed to suck it up and not lean into your emotions, but how's that going for you?
No, it's not what you're supposed to do. Yeah, no, it's a challenging time for sure. I know my kids start in-person school this week, and then my middle schooler goes back in early November. And so trying to juggle driving to school and back and handling business and be there for my wife and support myself and Yeah, there's a lot going on, but like we mentioned earlier today, I think there are a lot of people that are just struggling with something, and you walk up to somebody and they might be all smiles on the outside,
Yeah.
but underneath they're dealing with extraordinary amounts of pain, and I think in American culture specifically, men have been told to just hold that and push that down and don't let that out. You're allowed two speeds. You can be happy or you can be angry, and that's it. you know, and just don't make them angry. Just be happy and and that's just not how human beings were wired.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we tell men to squash their emotions and push that down, then we're just left with uh, thinking and behavior, right? And and the feelings are trying to say, hey, we have a deeper need here that's not being met or is being met, and we should probably take a look at that. But if we don't acknowledge those feelings, then we can't use the wisdom that they're pointing to. I say wisdom, but they're like guideposts saying, "Hey, you should pay attention to this." It's like a um, an emergency light on your car dashboard, and to just shut those off or not replace that battery so that those lights work is incredibly dangerous. Not only for the man in this case, but for the people around that guy. It's really important.
That's so well said. And I like that you said that your emotions are like a guidepost. Something as important to pay attention to as the dash on your car, right?
Yeah,
Because so often we'd much rather to go to the mechanic and have that looked at than to take a dive inward and see,
right.
but it does, like you said, it radiates out whatever's going wrong inside of you. Your family's going to feel the whole brunt of it.
You know,
Um,
and to that end, if you're talking about men and crying specifically, I just had this conversation with my son. Was it just last week? We were just talking about crying, and and he goes, I often feel better after crying. Like, yes, that's the
Yay.
idea. You're supposed to get it out. Like you're not just supposed to hide it. Um, to get really authentic and personal for a second, my mother passed away just about a week and a half ago, and there have been moments when the tears will well up, and there are moments when they won't. But the other day we were listening to to a song that reminded me of my mother, and the person I was listening to wanted to shut it off, and I said, no, 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 no. I need this to play out. I need the emotions to come. I need to get them out, because if they just stay hidden underneath, that's going to cause a whole bunch of other issues later. And I need to experience. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just a feeling, and I'm feeling loss from my mom, and that's okay. That's okay, right? And so I think we need to allow ourselves the safety to experience those emotions and to let them out. Yeah.
I just want to express my deepest condolences condolences to you and your family, about your mother.
Thanks.
And yeah, and Wanda does too. Um,
I
and
see you, Wanda. Thanks. I
yes, I'm
appreciate
showing you. And you know, similar to you, it wasn't recent, right? But my dad's birthday just passed, a couple, maybe about a week ago, 10 days back. And although it's been like half my life ago that
it.
he passed, it's still like, same kind of thing. If I hear like a certain song, or you know I think of something we did together. Like, we used to take walks in the morning,
Yeah.
before sunrise. So sometimes it'll be like that, and but
Mm.
it's really good, right? It's I call it leaning into the love, right?
Ooh, let's talk more about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So,
By we, I mean you.
yes, I'm getting to that. I talk very slowly, unlike you.
Sorry, I should stop drinking my coffee.
I'm telling you guys, when you listen to the full episode, you're really going to enjoy. There's a lot of this. And you can, for those of you on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is my name, Cordelia Gaffar, so that you'll be queued up for Wednesday night at 7 p.m. To hear the whole episode. Yeah. So like for grief, for me, what really helped was just leaning into the love and the relationship that I had with my dad, and literally just feeling, his hug and his wisdom,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's because the thing for me that I really miss is the intellectual stimulation. My dad was, just an amazing man. He was a judge. He was an attorney. He spoke like 4 languages, and I just I haven't met anybody that I can talk to like that. So, yeah. Anyway, and Wanda also recently lost her father. So, like the first thing, right? The first thing that happens. Oh, and his birthday was this. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. The loss of a loved one coupled with a day that's supposed to be very celebratory. Like
yeah.
my mom passed on the 7th, and then I celebrated my birthday on the 12th, and everybody kept saying, "Have a fabulous day, have a fantastic day," and I'm like, I just need you to stop. Like, I appreciated the desire to connect, right? Like, they didn't know, but I just was not in a place to go, "Woo, it's my birthday."
Yeah, that's not the first thing. And I know for me, like this whole last part of the year is really difficult. Like the November 13th is the anniversary of my mom's death. And then their wedding anniversary is in December. So it's just like pretty much the rest of the year, I'm just like, we'll be in the same, emotional pool. I'm just saying. So,
and so when we look at that spot, right, we can either choose to face it and to move forward in love,
yeah.
or we can choose to turn and walk away. And I think so many people, men specifically, have been told that emotions are bad, that those are weak. You're not allowed to show any kind of, hey, I need you, not in a codependent way, but I need you,
Right.
whether you're talking about your spouse or a loved one. And it was so cool because I was talking to my 9-year-old when we got back, and he goes, "Dad, you went to say goodbye to Grandma, but she's dead. Like, what did you do?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Wow.
I love that you asked this question, and that it was that question. And so we talked about how, I just put my hand on her head, I held her hand, I said some things, and I said, but I'm also going to write her a letter. And then he goes, "But Dad, what? Where are you going to send it? Because she's gone."
Yes.
And I was like, well, the letter is really more for me. It's a way for me to get out what's inside and to express that. I said, I don't know. Maybe I'll hold on to the letter in my desk. Maybe I'll burn it in one of our fire pits. I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to write the letter, and that's going to be how I'm going to say goodbye, since I didn't really have a chance to do that. And I said, you could do the same thing. So the next morning I come back from my 7 o'clock coffee, and he's standing there with a letter. And I was just like, we have these tools that we can use, and using the tools are not weakness. It's not bad. But then I talked to my 11-year-old, and we had a good conversation about it. And for him, he just needed to cry, right? He just needed to let out the emotion. And like, there's no one right way to respond.
Yeah.
Like, both are totally fine, and not any less masculine than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. I think this is, definitely a lesson in learning yourself and how you process your emotions. That's the great thing about allowing yourself to feel them, because if you don't, then you'll never know yourself, and you'll never know how to take care of yourself. Yes, and everything that comes up, it seems as it's the first event of missing them. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah,
I was
and I
talking to
just love
Jonathan.
that,
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I just love that, we're talking specific to men. So yeah. What did Jonathan say?
Well, I had we had this coffee scheduled for like the next morning. It was like 12 hours after I found out.
Mm,
And I thought, well, I wonder. I'm a man of faith, and I wondered what God was going to do in this particular conversation,
right.
because we had rescheduled a few times, and so I open up the Zoom, and there he is, and he's not in his office. He's in, surrounded by all these wood panels, and he's like, oh, this. It's like, where are you at? He said, this is my sukkah, and I was like, wait, I remember, but I just need a little. Like, I know I should know what that is. It's like, oh, this is part of our festival where we build these makeshift huts and we live in them for a week as best we can, and it's about refocusing on God and
Mhm.
and who provides and who sustains, and I just thought it was the most
Perfect.
beautiful thing that I could have experienced in that moment. Like, he didn't have to say anything else. We went on to have a phenomenal conversation, but just the visual of, where is my focus? Is it like, if I'm balancing, I'm not going to spill this. If I'm balancing this cup of coffee, right? Like, am I
Right.
focused down here on the hotness on my hand, how I'm experiencing it, or am I focused up top
Yeah.
on where we're going? And that was huge. I know I really need that to know
Mm,
that I'm not walking through this alone, and
yeah.
that there's a God that cares about me.
And for those of you who don't know who we're talking about, Jonathan Golson, I interviewed him the end of season 1, and he actually is the one who referred Jeff to me. So he is a
Thank you.
rabbi. Yes, thank you, Jonathan. Beautiful man, beautiful connection. And, that just lets me see that, we plan, but then God plans, his plan is way better. Because, like, for all your
Yeah.
rescheduling, you talked to him
Right.
when you needed to.
Right. Like, I was canceling all these other meetings, and I thought, what are the odds that we would be rescheduled for this moment at this
Yeah.
time? And then he just reminded me, in the Jewish tradition, they've got, they usually take a week. There's a week of mourning, and then there's things to do for like months, and then there's things to do for a year, and just to not rush through that, not to push past the pain, but that it's
Yeah.
okay to experience the emotions. And when we do that, when we recognize that the emotions don't define us, the circumstance doesn't define us, our success, our mistakes, our failures, those don't define us. If we come back and understand that we have value that is intrinsic and separate from all of this other stuff, we're free to experience the emotion and not be crippled or destroyed by it, and we're able to continue to move forward in love, like what you were talking about.
Beautiful. Wow. And my next question was, what is the golden takeaway? But you just did that. So I'm going to leave that because you rock like that, Jeff.
You rock.
So you are, a wise man. And thank you for
Oh,
sharing your vulnerability and your wisdom with us today. And like I said, I just encourage everyone listening and watching now to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can listen to and watch our full episode Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
yeah.
so that you can get the full story on, what's the topic again?
I think we're talking about reclaiming and redeeming masculinity through value.
Through value. That's it. Yeah.
Cheers. And
So,
coffee.
and coffee. Always coffee. So thank you so much for taking some time away from your family. I hear the birds. So enjoy the lake
Yeah. Thank you.
for us. Absolutely. My pleasure.
Thanks so much for the opportunity to share with your audience. I really appreciate it a lot.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Bye now.